Hi guys, my name is Andrei and welcome to my stream. So I'm doing live React coding almost daily at 5 p.m. UTC, except Sundays. Sundays I'm taking a day off. I spent an hour coding a React app. Let me show how it looks. I already started everything, I think. Yeah, I have started here. So I'm working on an encryption app. So you can enter some text. You can select what you want to do with this text. This is called a transform. Every window like this is called a transform. So you can, for example, select AES encryption. So you select AES encryption. Key is generated by default, but you can insert your own key if you want to check, for example, you're working on some AES encryption for your app and you want to check if it actually works correctly. People usually do this by typing, for example, AES encryption online, and they get some tools which do this. Something like this. So that's what I'm doing. Users also will be able to use multiple transforms. So here we can see that this was encrypted and then it was turned into base 64. So we can, after encrypting, we can also decrypt it immediately. We can decide AES decrypt. For example, and now we first encrypted it with AES, then decrypted it, and then we, as expected, we got the same result. Normally, many transforms should be here, but for first release, I'm planning just these two: AES encrypt, AES decrypt. This should be enough for phase 1. Okay, so I'm using React with TypeScript and Material UI, and I'm using Cypress as my testing framework. Here are some Cypress tests. Yesterday, no, not yesterday, the day before, I added a stream. I added many tests actually. You can check previous video. There are many tests being added today. I will add some more. Okay. I wanted to check my trailer first. Let me start. I think I need another Chrome instance. Text transformer. Trailer text transformer. So this is my trailer board where I have all the tickets I need to complete. As you can see, only one ticket isn't done currently, but there are several which I moved to deferred, which I probably want to check too. But let's first change this, check this one, the one which isn't done. Let us create a test for this. This ticket is related to, let me check what it relates to. When the user removes any transform element from the transforms panel, the text in the output panel text area should change to reflecting the change in the text transformation. So this test is related to this. you can see here we have first window, and we, for example, set it to AES encrypt, right? And then maybe we want to do AES encrypt again. Who knows? Maybe I want to encrypt it twice, but usually you don't want that, of course. But the point is, if there are multiple transforms and you delete one of those, then this text should change. This actually already happens, but we don't have a Cypress test for this. I did not write a Cypress test, so I should write a Cypress test for this. Where is before 24? It should be before 24. 23. So here. So now we need to pay close attention to the wording. I'm using BDD standard for test descriptions. So the wording says, oh god, I did not know I did this. When the user removes any transform element from the transforms panel. So what we need to do, we need to remove one of the transform element from the transforms panel, but before we can remove it, there should be several panels already. So first thing we should do, we should add several transform panels. We can do this by clicking this plus button, right? This plus button. This plus button, we're checking which class it has, so that we can use a selector. TRS add transform button. My god, I can select this properly. Why is it happening? Okay, I'll just type it by hand. You see, now it selects whole class, but I want to select just something from there. How do I do this? Is this even possible? I don't know if it's even possible. I just want to select this TRS add transform button. So let me try sci.get. TRS add transform button, and here hold on a second. I think it's a little, I think video isn't fast enough. Let me try reducing maybe. Frame rate, bitrate a little, because currently I think you might experience buffering. Let me try to do it like this. Okay, so here we select add transform button and we click it. And now that we click it, another transform element will be selected. So that transform element we can also make that transform element into AES encrypt, because it doesn't matter, right? EQ1, then find, select. So this EQ1 will select second element from the list, because these TRS transform element will have the same class, right? We will have two elements actually selected with this selector. So with eq function with argument 1, we get the second element. Then we do find, and we find the select elements inside it. And we again make it AES encrypt. So now we create two of them, and we need to get the output from this panel. So to get this output, we can use UI get TRS Output Panel, TRS Text Area. This is the selector for this text area, for this element. You see, this element has class TRS Text Area, and it's inside the parent element, which is TRS Output Panel. Oh, TRS Output Panel already here. Right, so now we do invoke val to get current value. Now we got this, we can call this original text. Now what I want to do, I want to remove this second panel, right? So how do I remove it? I need a selector again. TRS remove element transform button. TRS, no, not output panel. Again, we want to select first element. We want to select second element, I mean, the element with index 1. And then use find to get a descendant. Okay, it's impossible. Yeah, TRS remove element transfer. Yeah, I think this should work. And we want to click this button, and afterwards we want to check the output of the resulting output and make sure that it is not equal to original text. Should not have value. Value should not be the same as the original text, right? I will make this the only test for now. Okay. TRS Text Area, yeah, something's wrong here. Invoke val. Let me look at this. So we get this output area and expect it. Yeah, I think. What is this though? I'm not interpreted output. Timed out to try syntax error unrecognized expression. What is unrecognized expression exactly? Invoke val should not have value, which is right. So I already got val, so should not equal. That's what should have been here. Let's check now. Yeah, now this one is succeeding because it works correctly actually. So let me add this ticket to completed. I don't know, I see everything buffering. I don't know why is it buffering today. It's buffering though. I don't know. I think this is because something else is happening. Okay, I see it's actually only 12th minute going in the live stream, which is not good. I don't know, I'm sorry. I will check this before the next stream, I think. For now, let me check what I can. So, deferred tickets. Let's check ticket 19 when an element is selected to be an AES transform element in the transformation selection drop down. The user should see key input with a random key in base64 format. I think this one is already completed. Yeah, this one actually is completed. Yeah, I think it is wrongly put into the deferred. I was thinking if this is the correct way to check in value, but later I checked and it is fine actually. So number 7, given that the input panel encoding dropdown is open when the user clicks any option other than the current one, if there was some text already in the input area, the user should see the text output text area change. So basically when we change encoding in the input area here, then the result here should also change. This is the point of this test. You should normally do this before implementing, but actually this thing is already working anyway for me. So we'll just write a test for this. Okay, number 7. Given that the input panel encoding dropdown is open when the user clicks any option rather than other than the current one. So first of all, we should set some transform. This is what I would do first, because if transform is none, then there will be no difference, I think. Or maybe they will be actually. I think they will be even if transform is none. You will even then you should see the result change. Right. Okay. Yeah, so we can just go to the encoding selector. This encoding drop down, select, and I would select here, let's say base 64. Before that, let's get current text from the output. TRS Output Panel, TRS Text Area. Let's use invoke val. I will call it original output. And now let's make sure that now output is not the same as original output. Should not equal original output. So this is number 7. Let me check it. Yeah. Now it works. So you can see basically, I will show you this test again. What happened? Just 7. It should be showing just 7. No. No, I didn't print only here. So that's what happened. We changed to base 64, and because input encoding changed, of course, now it thinks that this is base 64, but this is not actually base 64. So, and the output changed too, of course. Now this one we also can consider completed. 7.1. Given that the input panel is open when the user clicks an option other than the current one, and if there was some text already in the input text area, and if the user inputted the wrong for this encoding. Okay, if we got wrong input for the encoding, it should see an error message in the output area. This I think I'm not going to do, at least not today. I'm not even sure we need this, because I don't know how can you check if the text is proper and isn't proper encoding or not. Only if it has symbols which are not part of this encoding, or I think we could use buffer to just try and translate it from normal encoding to, from for example base 64, and try to, yeah, but if we make base 64 as UTF-8, then there will be no issue, right? But if we try to set hex for the text for the value which is actually base 64, then we will have issues, because there are more characters in base 64 than there are in hex. I think we would get an error in buffer, and in this case we could check this. Yeah, this one I'm also not going. Well, or I'm not sure. How can I check this? Which element is selected? Yeah, I can check it, I guess. Yeah, let's do number 12 when we create a new element, and then I will think about 7.1. So let's just create a new transform element. We can do this by clicking the plus button. Yeah, this one. Add transform button. Now that we clicked it, we can get our second transform element, EQ1, and should have none value. So we need to get select element of it actually, because TRS transforms element will not be pointing to the select element which actually has the value. I mean, you can see here select, right? And this is our transform which actually has these different values: non AES encrypt, AES decrypt. And this is our transform element, which contains multiple elements but not actual select. So that's why I also get the select from here. Yeah, I think like this. EQ1 and then select. Why? Because first we need to get the second element, which is this. So these both will be inside the array, since they both will be using the same selector. So we need this element. So I first select this transform element, which is this card, whole card. This transform element. Then inside this element I use find to find a select element inside of it. Inside of this card I'm looking for a select element. So it's looking for a select element here, and it gets this select element, which we now need to what? To select, to use select on it, I think. No, we need to check its value actually. Should have value none. So by default, newly created element should have value none. That's what this test is checking actually. Let me go back. Do I have any only?